Good afternoon, everybody. We're back at Epcot today.
It's December 2nd with some chilly 57 degrees outside, a little bit of a breeze. We got our long sleeves on.
Yeah, for the first time since we've been in Orlando, it's a little chilly. I know we joked about it last week in our SeaWorld video, but that was 62. Yeah. It's gonna get down into the 40s or 30s tonight. So for us, that's pretty chilly, especially since we don't have any long sleeve stuff anymore. We've had to dig deep through the closet to find something to wear. But we have made it over to Epcot today because it is Festival of the Holidays here, which means decorations and some new food booths, some new food items. Olaf scavenger hunt. Do you have that?
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing that where there's a little hidden Olaf in every country. Yeah. So we're gonna go around and find every one of them. At the end of it, we turn that back in and we get a little gift.
Yeah, we'll share that with you guys when we get it.
There's also a cookie trail, but because we're doing so much food tasting today, we're gonna skip the cookie trail, do that another day. We're gonna do something different.
Yeah.
We've been in Orlando now for a little over 6 months, and we wanna sort of talk about what it was like to make the plunge to Florida, what our journey's been like, and then maybe some helpful tips to help you if it's something you're considering.
Yeah, because we get asked that a lot. So I mean, that's an ongoing question. It was a question that we looked into whenever we were moving here, and there's really not a lot out there on that topic.
So we'd like to help spread some of that information. Start a conversation down in the comments about what questions do you have, what can we answer for you? And then if we don't know, I mean, I'll find out. We've got some other friends that we're gonna talk to in future episodes to see what their experience was like and what they know now that they didn't know then.
Each of our experiences are different.
Well, thank you for being here today again with us, and come along as we walk through Epcot.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the greatest show on earth.
We just entered World Showcase. We're going to start in Canada and head around, but I wanted to stop for a few minutes and talk about what the decision-making process was like for us and why we wanted to move and how the decision was made to finally move to Orlando.
I think we just jumped.
Pretty much.
So I think if you overthink it, then you're not going to do it. I feel like that's kind of how a lot of people do. I'm not saying that just throw your life away and just go and do it, but it's definitely something that if you think too long about, you won't do.
We sort of made the decision because, you know, I wanted to move here for years, even before I knew Jennifer. She was game for an adventure, and all it took was one of us having the opportunity with our job or our career to move here, and then the other would leave their given career and we would do it together. It turns out that Jennifer had the opportunity to transfer with her job, and so I gave up my career, just decided I'll just get a job when I get there, because at the end of the day, priorities for me were living my life, not working a career. I work to live, not live to work. It's Canada. So if you watched our first episode, you know that we moved here to Orlando in April of 2020. And that was the beginning of the shutdowns. It was a very, interesting time to move anywhere, but especially to Central Florida, because Central Florida obviously is a tourist-driven area.
Right.
And it was pretty much devastated by the shutdowns. Disney closed, all the theme parks closed. So we recognize that this is not your standard time, and our experience was not standard. Okay, stop number one. We stopped in Canada and got the beef bourguignon, and it looks really, really good. I'm ready to give it a try. Oh, there's like one big chunk of beef.
There is.
I'll fight you for it. So it looks like basically it's like beef stew over sort of smashed potatoes.
It's got little onions in it and carrots.
That's really good. It's like Sunday roast over mashed potatoes, except it's in like a kind of a wine reduction sort of sauce. But The beef has that roast texture, and then, you know, the beef gravy, even though it is wine flavored, you do get the beef in there. It's elevated. It's better. I'd give this a
8.
I'd give it a 7. We'll go 7.5. How about that? 7.5 out of 10. It's probably not going to be my favorite thing today, but I would order it again. Those donuts look fantastic. We're at the Joffrey's booth, and the sudden smell of coffee was overwhelming. And then these donuts are obscene. So we'll talk a minute about our actual timeline and how that occurred. Jen received an opportunity with her job to transfer. You want to talk about how quick that process was?
It was a lot quicker than what we had thought it was going to be. I think it started in August. We had already been talking about Florida and Disney. We planned a trip in February to come look for an apartment and place to live.
Yeah, so she's right. From February until when we came to start looking and started taking things seriously till moving date was really only about 2 months.
Yeah.
So we had to uproot our entire lives in those 2 months. You know, we had to change everything that we knew, and you know, this is not unique to us. This is something that everybody who uproots and moves locations has to go through. But for us, it was kind of surreal because it was so fast.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have time to think about it. It was like now or never. We quickly made our way to Florida, adjusted, learned our way around, still learning our way around 6 months later, but it's easier. It's getting easier.
Right. Okay, so we just stopped at the L'Haïm booth, which is in between France and Morocco, and we got the pastrami on rye with this gigantic pickle on top. It smells really good. And then Jen got the potato latkes. I wouldn't say that's probably the best pastrami I've ever had, but that's pretty good. The bread is good. The mustard's really tasty. How's yours?
It's okay. It didn't, okay, so there was no description of this dish whatsoever. So, it's good. I mean.
Okay. Can I have a bite? I'll tell you if it's good or not.
It's got two things that I'm not a huge fan of. So, I mean, I like potatoes, but it's onions, crunchy onions, and dill sauce or not.
Honestly, I'm not crazy about the dill sauce either, but I think if you took that off, you know what that would remind me of? That would remind me of Waffle House hash browns, scattered, smothered, or not smothered, but whatever the onion one is. It's scattered with the onions in it.
Our initial trip here in February, we planned for a couple weeks, like what apartments we wanted to look at, the price ranges that they were going to be at, the square footage we were going to be able to get, the location. And so we had about 14 on our list, and that seems like a lot,
Right.
but when you really think about it, within the period of the 4 days that we were here, that we flew down for, it really wasn't a lot for us to be able to mark off a lot of those off our list very quickly.
Right, and you know, I'm an Uber planner, so you know, I had this massive spreadsheet coming into this thinking that I knew where we wanted to be and what was important in the area, and I found out very quickly upon coming down here and actually putting feet on the street that what I thought was true was not true at all. And
Right.
so the place that we ended up with wasn't even on my radar. Wasn't even, I don't think I'd even heard of it before. You can plan and you can prepare, and I do suggest doing that and knowing what it is that's important for you, but also be able to be flexible, because sometimes the diamond's in the rough and you may not see it coming until it hits you in the head.
Know where you want to live. Your location is the most important. So pick 2 places as far as location goes, because you may get there and you may be like, no, because one street over is not where I want to be. Not necessarily so much apartment wise, but location wise. We are halfway done. Don't pay too much attention to it. I like these little games. It makes the park interesting. First it was Remy and now it's Olaf. So I wonder who's next.
Okay, so we're in Italy, in between Italy and Germany. We stopped at the Tuscany booth, and what you got there?
I don't know how to pronounce it actually, to be honest.
Sacchetti? I don't know, it's some kind of pasta, dude.
So it looks good.
It looks
got
like
mushrooms and onions, bacon.
It looks like mac and cheese with some bacon on top, but I'm sure it's more sophisticated than that.
It's like tortellini.
I like tortellini.
Well, it's like stuffed. That's stuffing.
So basically, it is like a elevated mac and cheese. It's got stuff with cheese in the center. So if I remember correctly, there was like 3 kinds of cheese in there. Mm-hmm. And the bacon, I taste the onions. Yeah, that's really good.
Mushrooms.
Come off another bite of that. I don't know. I'm trying to do this and not drop anything. So we also got a cannoli. So this looks like it's only about 1 bite. So you know what that means. Hey Jen,
Hey, Woody.
look over there.
Stop it. Don't make me go get my own to see what it has in it.
It's just a cannoli. I can't really say anything other than that. It's good. Not great, but good.
Oh, it's Christmas time. I feel sad, I can't help it.
Decided pretty early on that we were going to rent over by. Eventually we want to purchase a place here, but we thought it was important to rent and really learn the lay of the land before we made that big final decision about where we wanted to purchase. And I'm really glad we did, because I think that even on a weekly basis, sometimes our priorities are shifting. I work about 30 minutes north of where we live, but where we live is very convenient to all the theme parks and all the recreation and all those things that are important. So somewhere we have to balance where what's more important, commute and distance to work or distance to fun. And I think for now, for us, distance to fun is our priority, because I don't mind sitting in the car on a commute as long as, you know, when we decide to go to the Disney theme parks or Universal or SeaWorld or one of those places, you know, it doesn't take half a day to journey there, because that was one of the major reasons why we wanted to move here in the first place. One of the things that we've learned, or I've learned since we've been here, one of the resources that we did not take advantage of, because I didn't realize it was a thing, was that there are some local realtors who will help you in your apartment search. I don't know how that works financially, but I do know that that is a service that's available. Anytime that you can find some advice or get some advice from a local who knows the area. One of the areas that we thought we wanted to live early on, turns out that any local here will tell you that you do not want to stay there. The other big resource for people that are looking to come here is Facebook. And hopefully, you know, with help from videos like this, hopefully we'll be able to have some resources on YouTube for you as well. We joined a group called New to the Magic Meetups. And I'm gonna post a link down here because we're still really active in this group. We've made some friends in this group. It's run by some of our friends. And it's a good resource to get into these groups for people that have already gone down this path. So one of the first sort of shocking things when we moved here was the cost of registering your vehicle here in Florida. So one of the benefits of moving to Florida is there is no state income tax, which that's you know, a huge plus for the state. But that cost is pretty quickly offset when you realize that it costs you, you know, $500 to register your vehicle for the first time. For us, cost of living is about the same, except for real estate here is much higher than where we came from.
Yeah. On top of that, we have toll roads here, so a lot of people don't have that in their state. We didn't have that in our state. I don't know. That was some adjusting. Do you take the toll road or not? Do you pay a fee or do you go around? One
of the very first things that you learn as a new resident of Orlando is that I-4 is the main artery that flows north and south through Orlando. It also has the designation of being the deadliest stretch of freeway based on the fact that a tremendous population of people that live here are traversing through north to south Florida that are traveling at high rate of speed, and then also mix in a large population of tourists who don't really necessarily know where they're going, and sometimes that leads to terrible results.
And then you're renting a place out or even purchasing a home, and see if it's located on a toll road where you're going to have to pay those tolls every time you leave.
Right, and this just goes back to maybe talking to some locals or talking to some people about where you think your ideal location is. And those toll roads may be something that you didn't take into account, but if your budget is pretty tight, I mean, that can add up fairly quickly, especially if there's 2 or 3 drivers in the family.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we had another awesome day here at Epcot. We walked around the entirety of World Showcase. We tasted some foods.
Yeah.
We did the complete Olaf scavenger hunt. We found all the Olafs. So we're about to go into the store and get our well-deserved prize, which is a little Olaf cup. But hey, it doesn't matter. It was the fun of the hunt. It was not the prize at the end.
Exactly.
So we stand here sort of at the front side of World Showcase as we were about to enter back into Future World, with the beautiful tree in the background and the Christmas music playing. And I just, once again, feel so much gratitude that we're here and that we're able to do this, and had a fantastic time today.
Yeah, it was a great day.
All right. As always, everybody, if never lost, then never found.
So go get lost.